welcome back to Amanda's Booktopia. Now we're going to do something a little bit different. Ian and Ashlyn, I don't know their YouTube channel names. And
I will link them down below. Ian and Ashlyn.
She'll put all that information down below. But, so basically, Amanda will explain what we're doing here.
So, when we were watching Ian and Ashlyn's videos, they did a little game where they guessed each other's star ratings. And Ashlyn's brother was also in the video. So, it was between, like, her brother and Ian had to guess Ashlyn's star ratings, and then they got points. And then Ian did a video of his own where Ashlyn and her brother were guessing his ratings, and then they each get a point depending, if they guessed it right or not. So, we decided to use that idea a little bit and spin my August wrap-up into a game. So, Bray's going to guess the star ratings of all the books I read for August. And I will tell you a little bit what I thought. And if Ray gets it right, I have to deduct a book from my October TBR. However, if he gets it wrong, I'm adding a book to my October TBR. So this could be either very, very good or very, very bad.
All right, let's get started.
The first one we're doing is Crave by Tracy Wolff. This was actually a reread for me. And, well, my first time I rated it 3 stars. However, after rereading it, I changed my rating.
I think you changed it to 4 stars.
Dun 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 dun! You are correct. So I am doing a minus a book from the TBR for October. And the next book we're gonna do is Castles in Their Bones by Laura Sebastian. And I'm gonna pull it up on my story graph. So, a little bit about this book. It's about Empress Margot, and she has 3 daughters. They are all princesses, and she decides when they become of age, they are going to the different kingdoms, well, different countries in this kingdom, and try and help her demolish the country so that way the Empress Margot could eventually take over and rule over all the countries. So what do you think I rated this?
3.5 stars.
You are wrong. I actually rated this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. There were some aspects I think could have been a little bit fleshed out a little bit more, but I enjoyed it enough that I want to get the second in the series. So I have not gotten the second one yet, but I am looking forward to getting it. So because he was wrong on that one, we're going to add a book. And then the next book we got is The Only One Left by Riley Sanger. You probably remember what I rated this because
I think you gave this one 5 stars, let's just say it.
And he is correct. For those that have never read this book, it's about this girl named Kit. And she's going to be a caregiver for, is it Lenora? Yep, it's Lenora. I should know, I read the book. And it's, like, so Lenora is what everyone thinks. She's the one that killed her whole family way back in the 1920s. And so because everyone's so scared of her, not everybody stays to help take care of her. So because her original caregiver ran away in the night, so Kit goes in and to be the caregiver for Lenora, and things are not as they seem, and things start happening. And oh my goodness, I absolutely loved every second of it. I stayed up till 3, 4 in the morning finishing this book. It was outstanding. So Ray guessed it right. 5 stars. I didn't even have to pull this up on Goodreads because I loved it that much. So we're adding another book to my October TBR.
No, you're taking it away.
Oh yeah, we're taking it away. That's right. My bad. So now we are on to book 4. The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. This is kind of a twist off of Jane Eyre a little bit. And on Storygraph it says, it's a delicious twist on a gothic classic where a pair of southern charm with atmospheric domestic suspense. And I definitely enjoyed it. Thought it was an interesting read. I've never read Jane Eyre before, but this retelling was kind of interesting. What do you think my star rating was?
3.5.
Nope. No.
Damn.
I actually gave it 4 stars because of the twist at the end. It was very twisty at the end, and I enjoyed it.
Twisted up like a pretzel?
I mean, it's the whole reason, kind of like, the title, I feel like gives a little too much away.
Gotcha.
But it was a very good story. So, because you got it wrong, I am adding a book. Alright. Next book, we have On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. I read The Hate You Give by this author. I also ended up reading it because I was a part of the Amazing Readathon from Bree for Positive Books. She held the readathon. And one of the prompts that came up, I needed a sightseeing book because I already read my actual book for this prompt. It's supposed to be some kind of direction in the title. And up is a direction. So I ended up reading On the Come Up for my sightseeing book for that prompt.
What's this one about then?
This one is about this girl named Bree. She is 16 years old and she wants to be one of the greatest rappers of all time. And she wants to, and she joins this battle, a rap battle, and everything spirals after her first rap battle. And all kinds of things happen because of, because it's very much similar to The Hate You Give. Mm-hmm. The only difference is there's no shooting involved with me.
I'm guessing you gave this one 5 stars.
I sure did.
Alright.
Woohoo! You got it right. So now we are adding a book to my October TBR.
I thought you were deducting.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I feel like I have to keep reminding you of your own rules. Oh wait, I came up with the rules for this one.
You did.
Maybe that's why you don't remember.
It keeps going down to 0.
It's not really balancing out anywhere.
Well, we're not done yet. We still got a lot more to go.
Yeah.
So, the next book we've got is Twisted Love. Wait, I don't know. Hold on.
Is this part of the Twisted series?
It sure is.
Alright.
And this one is about Alex and Ava. Ava is a free spirit trapped by nightmares of a childhood she can't remember. And Alex is a devil blessed with the face of an angel and cursed with a past he can't escape. And I definitely enjoyed the story. Absolutely love Alex. I can't wait through the rest of the series.
I would say this is a 5 star.
It sure was.
I said deduct a book.
We're already at 0. We can't go below 0.
That's true.
Then the next book we got is A Hotel Nantucket by Ellen Hildebrand. And let me pull this up on Storygraph. So this book is about this hotel and trying to bring it back to its glory days, so to speak, because there was a whole, back in like the 1920s, 1930s time frame, there was a fire. And so the hotel kind of went up in smoke for the most part. And someone died. And the spirit of the girl ends up haunting the hotel. And then all these things are happening in the hotel with all these characters. And so we find out, like, basically what's going on with the ghost. Her name, I think the ghost's name is Grace? Yeah, Grace. And then, so they're trying to bring the hotel back and turn it around and make it into this fabulous hotel. And so we're trying to solve the mystery of Grace, of why of how she died and why. At the same time, they're trying to have a huge success with this hotel. And I thought it was a very fun story. It's my first book by this author. I did like it.
I'm gonna go with 3.5 stars.
Nope, you were wrong. I gave it 4 stars.
I mean, guess what you get out of book tier list.
It was very much enjoyable. I did enjoy it. And there was some romance. We're back up to 1. And then the next book I read was The Forest of Vanishing Stars by Kristen Harmel. I am now a big fan of this author. This takes place during World War II. The girl, what's her name again? Yona, actually. Yona's her name. She gets raised in the forest. Because she gets stolen away in the beginning from her parents. And the woman that kidnapped her raises her in the forest and teaches her how to survive in the forest. And to stay away from people during World War II. Well, she meets a whole lot of people when she grows up. And, well, technically the woman who raised her did not want her to associate with people. So there's a whole lot of issues with Yona and the other people, and she tries to basically help the others that end up in the forest. She tries to help them survive. And it was a very fun story. It was kind of sad at some parts, but definitely a very good read, I thought.
I'd say 4 stars.
Nope, I gave it 5. I really, really enjoyed it that much. She might be your favorite historical fiction author for me, actually.
All right. Well, add a book to your collection.
So we're adding a book. And now for the next one. This is a Book of Lost Names, also by Kristen Harmel. And this one is about a woman named Eva. She is a semi-retired librarian in Florida, which is also where I live, by the way. And she's like a grandmother now. And she had this book called The Book of Lost Names. And it used to belong to her. And then she lost it, and because she's a grandmother now, she never got the book back because it got lost. And then she finds an image in this article where she sees the book again, and she wants to get it back because it belonged to her. So she's flying back to Germany, I think it is, or Paris. Somewhere in that area, and she's trying to get the book back, and then we go ahead while she's on the plane, and we get her backstory and find out what led up to her losing that book during World War II. And I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really good. And
I would say 5 stars.
And you are correct. So we are
deducting a book.
Deducting. And the next book we've got is Lilac Girls by Martha Hall Kelly. And this is also another historical fiction. I picked up a few historical fictions for the month of August. Because I was kind of in like a historical fiction era for the month. I really enjoy stories from World War I and II, so it was fun. And so this is about 3 different women. One named Caroline, one named Kaja, and one named Herta. And they're all in different worlds, so to speak. I mean, it's during the same time frame. However, there's Caroline in New York, and then we have Kaja, who's in Poland, and then we have Herta, who's in Germany.
So they're in different countries.
They're in different countries. And then it's about how their stories end up intertwining during World War II and how they all meet and what happens to them during that time frame, during the war. And I really enjoyed it. However, there was one character I did not like. But the rest of the story I was very much into. And I would definitely continue the series because I want to know how it continues. I don't have the book yet, but eventually. I do want to continue it, even though I didn't like one of the characters. Herta was the one that I was not a fan of.
Okay.
But it was a very enjoyable story otherwise.
I would say you gave it 5 stars.
I did not.
Alright.
I gave it 4 stars because of that character. I just did not like her. So we are adding a book. Next book is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager.
5 stars. I'm not even going to try and pretend it's not 5 stars. It's got to be 5 stars. It's Riley Sager.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
You are wrong, my friend. I gave it 4 stars. It was a very interesting story. It's about this woman named Casey. She was recently widowed. And she goes to this lake house that belongs to her family. And across the lake is another couple. Tom and Catherine. And so she's like a bit of a peeping Tom, and she watches them a lot. And some very odd things happen with Catherine from the beginning. And then we find out more weird stuff about what happened to Catherine later on in the book. Because something happens to Catherine in the beginning, and then she acts very funny afterwards. Not like herself. Which we don't really know that exactly until closer to the end. But we find out why exactly she was that way. And there were some paranormal elements. And, well, normally I love paranormal books. But the way the paranormal was portrayed in this one was not my favorite way. I love all kinds of horror books with different paranormal aspects to it. I wasn't crazy about how it all came together in the end. However, it was definitely a good story leading up to the end. I mean, the paranormal elements don't really come into play until closer to the end, and that's why it was a good story, because she was watching the couple from across the lake, and she was really, really nosy. I thought that was pretty funny. Actually.
Almost too nosy, it seems like.
Yep, definitely too nosy.
Alright.
It was a good story leading up to the end, just the end and the paranormal elements just did not work for me.
Gotcha.
So what do you think my star rating?
Didn't I already tell you? I think I told you.
I'm giving you another chance.
Oh, lovely. How nice of you. 4 stars. 4 stars.
Yep. So we are taking away.
I mean, so we're back to 1 book?
We're back to 0 again. How do we keep going back to 0? That's weird.
We really designed this thing poorly. We're not really gaining or losing at this point.
And this next book is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez.
This is a 5 stars.
Dang, I didn't even have to say anything yet.
No.
But you were right.
This book, Amanda's been talking about this book since she read it, so let's just put it this way, she's a huge fan.
It's my favorite romance of the year. Let's put it that way. And yes, I do have yours truly on my shelf. I cannot wait to get to that one. I'm hoping it's as good as this one. No, honestly.
I thought you read yours truly already.
Not yet.
Oh.
It's by the same author though. It's the second one.
Yeah, that much I do know.
And then next we got One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. You probably remember this one as well.
I don't. I would say you gave this one 5 stars.
And you are correct. I did give this one 5 stars. This is probably one of my favorite fantasies of this year. I highly recommend. I think everybody should read this. I was fascinated all the way through. And the romance in it is top notch. I already have the second one on my wish list ready to pre-order. I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I am very much looking forward to reading the second one of the series. It's going to be good. I'm sure of it. I cannot wait. And next one we've got... Oh, wait. Did I don't think I marked that one, did we?
No, you didn't.
Since you got that right...
We're still at 0, by the way.
We're still at 0. One big fat 0. I'm just going to write 0. This one we got is Flock by Kate Stewart. Everyone, well, not everybody, but my bestest friends, Dana, Nikki, Karina, and Kaylani, absolutely love this series. And they convinced me I needed to jump in on the fun with them. Because my FOMO was acting up, and I'm like, I need to get this book. So I got it, and I thought it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Like, it got better as the book went on. Honestly, it really did. So what do you think I rated it?
5 stars.
Yep. We're still at a big fat 0. And then the next one we got is Goodbye Days by Jeff Zentner. This was a very sad book for the most part. And because there was a car accident and the main character's best friends were in that car, and unfortunately they passed. And that's where the sadness comes in.
I'd say you gave it 3 stars.
I did not.
4?
Yes, I gave it 4. You got it wrong the first time.
You have to count it.
I have to count it. However, I do recommend the book. It is sad, but the way it all wraps up is pretty decent story. So we're counting that as a +1, so we're making that a 1. Only 1. We still got a few books left. It was because of Kaylani that I really had to read this. So we have Where Dreams Descend and When Night Breaks by Janella Angelis. And let me pull this up on the iPad. Since we got 2 books in the series, you get to do both.
Yeah, we didn't cover series or duologies. What we would do in that case, so they'll count as individual books.
Yep. Well, since it is technically part of a series, we will talk about them both. This very much gave me vibes off The Greatest Showman. Well, and there was magic involved, because it's, it's fantasy, and there's romance. And I believe this is also like a Phantom of the Opera retelling. That's what I used it as, because for the Amazing Readathon, you had to, one of the prompts was to read a retelling. So I found out this is actually based off of Phantom of the Opera, and I had no idea. So I guess it's kind of like Phantom of the Opera crossed with The Greatest Showman with lots of magic. And I really enjoyed this. I enjoy these books.
So I would say you gave them 4 stars.
You were right on the first one. 4 stars. Which means I'm taking away a book. We're going back down to 0. However, you did not get to reading to the second one, When Night Breaks.
3 stars?
You are wrong.
5.
Yes, but since you said you were wrong the first time, you're counting it.
I know. You have to add 1, take 1. So we're still back at 0, or back at 1.
No, we took down 1 and then added 1. So technically we're up to 1. So we're still at 1. And then the next one, we're getting close to the end, folks. Just a few more. You have After All by Heidi McLaughlin. This is, I think, it was published by Montlake. I'm not sure if that's an indie publisher or not. But this is a contemporary romance. So I forgot my rating, which is why I need to pull it up. So this is about this woman named Brooklyn. It's kind of very much, actually, I might as well just say it. It's very much like Every Summer After, if you like Carly Fortune. It's their plot lines are a lot alike, because the woman Brooklyn, she lived in Cape Harbor for 15 years and got to know some friends and this guy that she fell in love with in high school, because she moved there and lived there for quite a while, and then she left when she was still a teenager, and nobody knew where she went or why she left or what's going on until she comes back to Cape Harbor as an adult, and she brought her daughter along with her. And the guy she was with in high school was in an accident and passed. And so when she comes back, she reunites with her friend Bowie. And I guess there's like a bit of a romance that happens between Brooklyn and Bowie. eventually. But it takes some time to get there because of what happened back in high school. So it's similar to Every Summer After, just slightly different plot points.
I'd say you gave it 3.5 stars.
I actually gave it 4 stars.
Okay.
So we're adding the book. I really enjoyed it. And I found out there's another one. I didn't realize there's another in the series. I might have to check it out at some point. I'm curious as to how it goes. So we are adding the book to the TBR. We're going from 1 to 2. As people probably remember, because Ray and I talked about this in another book talk, Identity by Nora Roberts.
5 stars, without a doubt. Great book, enough said.
Let's find out if you're right. You are right. I did give it 5 stars. So we're taking the 2 down to 1. This is going to be a very easy TBR for October because there are some books I do have to read. So whichever one I end up with in the end of this, we'll just add on because it's no sense in only just reading 1 or 2 books for October. There's 31 days. So we're going down to 1. Next book, we've got Still House Lake by Rachel Kane. And this actually Ray picked for me for my TBR for August. And since Ray already knows what this book is about, I do not have to tell him.
No, however, I do believe you gave it 5 stars.
I sure did.
Yeah, listen.
I absolutely
The House
enjoyed
Lake is a great series, or that is a great series from Rachel Kane. Another one is I think it's The Great Librarians by Rachel Kane. Those are all good books. I would recommend them. So go pick them up.
I actually really enjoyed it. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I did. But the woman's name is Gina, and then she thinks she has this whole happy life, with her husband and her kids, and then a car accident reveals that her husband's secret life, apparently he's a serial killer, and he's been killing, and while she has no idea what the heck has been going on. Apparently he's been doing it in her garage, and she had absolutely no idea. And then when she finds out, she goes into witness protection and has to change her name and her kids' names. And so they travel from one city to the next, trying to blend in and trying not to stand out. She doesn't want anyone to know who she really is. But
naturally it tends to haunt her as she goes. But
yeah.
Seriously, if you like these types of books, I strongly recommend you reading it.
It's very, very good, so I recommend it as well. And then we're down to 3 more books. Oh wait, did I track that?
You did not.
Alright, so you guessed it right, so we're going down to 0. Honestly, I think you're pretty good at this because I probably give too much away is the problem.
Well, I mean, you're my fiance and I know you well, so that's probably why.
That is true. And then next book, we got The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes.
5 stars.
Yep, you are right. It is 5 stars. And for those that don't know anything about this one, it's very much like Criminal Minds, but with teenagers. Basically. And this girl named Cassie, she's 17. She is very good at reading people. And with the tiniest details, she can tell you who you are and what you want. And then the FBI comes knocking and wants her to be a part of this program called The Naturals. And they solve crimes together. And I really, really enjoyed this. And I cannot wait to continue the series. I need to buy the next one because I don't have it yet. But I'm very much excited to continue the series and see where it goes.
Hey, speaking of... Jennifer Lynn Barnes, right?
Yep.
Just so everyone knows, the 4th book... I call it the 4th book. In the Hawthorne Brothers, or...
The Brothers Hawthorne.
The Brothers Hawthorne, excuse me. It came out. So if you're interested in that, make sure you pick that up today as well. Which Amanda does have the book in her collection for a future TBR.
Alright, so the next one we've got is Defend the Dawn by Brigitte Kemmer. This is the second in the Defy the Night series, which I really enjoyed. By the Night, this is the sequel, so this is the second one in the series. The third one doesn't come out until January of next year, and I cannot wait to get the third one.
I'd say 4 stars.
You are wrong. We have a 5-star. I absolutely love this series. It's basically like a retelling of Robin Hood, so I highly, highly recommend reading the series if you haven't yet. It starts with Defy the Night. This is the second one. And then the third one comes out in January. I cannot wait. So we are adding a book. So we're up to 1. And there's only 1 book left. And I don't think you've read this one yet.
What is it?
This is Night Work by Nora Roberts.
No, I have not. But you did say it was similar to, was it Identity?
In some ways, yes.
In some ways, yes. And you said you enjoyed this one more a little bit.
I did.
So I'm going to say you give this one 5 stars.
I did not, actually.
Oh.
I give it a 4.5. And the reason being is the ending wrapped up a little bit too perfect. I wanted something to happen. Like, it can't... I didn't want it to be an easy ending. Yeah. I wanted there to be, like, drama and be like, this is going on, this is going on. And as much as I really enjoyed the book, it was too perfect.
Gotcha.
That's the only reason why I gave it a 4.5.
Alright.
So
I was wrong, so you get to add 1 book to your collection for this future TBR for October.
We're already at 1, which means we're going up to 2.
Oh, so then you had 2, I'm sorry.
So we are adding a total of 2 books to my normal TBR.
For October.
Yeah, not for this month because we're already in September. So it wouldn't make sense. However, I have already read 4 books in the month of September already, and still got many more to go. Hopefully, with my reading speed, we can do it. I
have faith in you. So thank you for joining us today on Amanda's Booktopia. This was a fun video. I'm assuming we'll do something like this in the future. If you enjoyed this content, feel free to smash the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.